Now let's take a look at some network utilities. First off, let's look at ping and traceroute commands. So this is pretty simple, pretty much the same as it is on any other device. If we want to ping something from this router, we can just issue the ping command in operational mode. And we want to ping a particular device on the network here. Okay, so this is just going to keep issuing pings until you hit Control-C to make it stop. So we can do that. TracerRoute command works pretty much the same way. If we do TracerRoute 192.168.1.15, and that's just going to show us the traceroute information to get to that device. And we can make that stop also with the Control-C command. Now, something else we can do with traceroute and even the ping commands from the command line is we can specify what interface we want it to come from. So if we want to ping 192.168.1.15 specifically from interface GE0, we can do it that way. That way we can verify that the traffic from the interface that you know it should be going out of is actually going out of that interface successfully and not taking a different route. Something else that you can do from the Junos command line is you can SSH or Telnet into another device, simply with the SSH command like this. And you can select your device and hit enter. And this is going to try to initiate the connection. Of course, you cancel out of it the same way with Control-C. Same thing with Telnet. Telnet and IP address is how it works, and it will try to connect. Now, there are various options that you can also configure when you're trying to do this, and we will look at a few of those here. So if you just hit the question mark after you put in the IP address, it's going to show some of the other options that you can use when you either SSH or Telnet into another device. You can actually use different versions of SSH protocol, and you can specify those here 1 or 2. You can bypass routing and use specific interfaces. You can force SSH to use IP version 6 or IP version 4. And of course you can specify a particular interface there or particular routing instance that you want to use. And it's the same way with Telnet. Now let's move on to the JWeb interface. Let's take a look at the packet capture tool that's available to us here. So if we go to the Troubleshoot tab, notice that as well as your command line option, you have the ability to ping from the JWeb interface as well as use your traceroute. And you have your advanced options here, just like you do from the command line. So let's look at a packet capture. This is going to be a pretty useful tool, especially if you have devices that are under contract and you have service agreements with them. Sometimes you need to call Juniper. They're going to put you on the phone with an engineer that's going to attempt to help you with any specific problem that you're having. One of the first things that they're going to ask for is a packet capture. So it's going to be really good for you to understand exactly how to get there and what it is. This is where you're going to do that. What you have here basically is you're going to specify an interface. So you're going to have your list of all the interfaces you have configured here. Say the interface that you need to capture traffic from is GE0. So you want to specify your detail level. And more likely than not, if you are doing a packet capture for Juniper, they are going to ask for extensive detail. That's going to give them the most information to work with. Really, when you're dealing with Juniper or JTAC, they're going to specify or give you information that you need to run the packet capture. In other words, they are going to tell you what they want as far as specifying the components of the packet capture that we have here. The default packet is set to 10, and that's fine. So what we want to do is we want to add an address. You're going to pick your direction. You're going to use any source or destination. You're going to pick host or network. So if you want to capture traffic from a particular network and you want everything going to 192.168.1.1, and the protocol you can select as TCP, UDP, or ICMP. Usually you're going to select TCP. If you want to go ahead and select UDP as well, that will work. If you want to specify specific ports, you can do that as well, either source or destination ports. But you also have advanced options here. This gives you a few more granular options that you can specify as far as packet captures. You can use packet size, you can use an expression in the header, you can specify layer 2 headers, you can do non-promiscuous packet capture. So you have quite a few options here. And it's really not that difficult. Basically, when you have a problem in your network, you know where that problem in general is. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to specify a packet capture directed at a certain part of the network or from a certain device. That's going to give you the information that you need.